Welcome back to Jump Scare. I'm Betty.
And I'm Shad.
And this week we cover 1985's U.S. release of Superstition.
All those stories about murders and ghosts. It's haunted, they say. I'm scared.
Two kids were killed out there. One kid was gutted and slashed to death. The other microwave.
There was a warning.
There are many houses on this foundation. All of them and their tenants come to bad ends.
And only one man listened.
Well, when did this violence begin?
There was a legend.
We want justice! Murder! I will not die!
Cut the rope!
And only one man believed.
Am I too late? Has it already started?
There is a superstition, and will anyone survive? Superstition. The victims who died were the lucky ones. Superstition.
This movie.
Yes. We saved this for last on our Witch Month because I thought we would either go out on a winner or we would go out on a really terrible one. We started off pretty good with Gretel and Hansel, so I thought either we're going to go out great or we're going to go out terribly. So how do you think we did?
Ooh, I don't know. I think we ended off great.
Yeah, this one movie is ridiculous, but it's fun.
It is a fun watch. I was not expecting... I mean, the movie's already crazy right off the bat. I'm going to say, I don't know, maybe like 2 minutes in. Like, it seems like really short.
Yeah, I think it was only about like 80 minutes or something. It wasn't very long.
No. I'm saying like, but 2 minutes into the movie where it gets fucking crazy.
Oh, yeah.
You have these kids who are like doing a prank, and the prank was successful, but alas, they befell some terrible things.
Yeah, people still died.
Yeah.
But this time, the people that got pranked didn't die.
That's true.
Because you got the old classic where it starts off with the kids making out in a car. And the girl even says, I don't know. There's been a lot of people murdered up in this area. Should we really be doing this? And he's like, yeah, baby, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Those people are already dead. Who cares? She's like, I don't know. A lot of people did die. And he's like, shut up. I'm horny. And that's when you have the other teenagers, in quotes, you can't see that, but I'm making quote marks of teenagers because they look more like they're about 25 to 30.
Yeah.
Have them dropping the creepy, like, mannequin down onto the car and scaring the shit out of the people and then running away. Which, is usually the people that are getting pranked die in some horrible accident, but this time it was the other way around. The people pulling the prank got left behind, and they're the ones that died.
Yeah, they died. And let me tell you, spoiler alert, I would not like to die with, like, getting my head, like, I'm decapitated and then my head put into a microwave, which then blows up. That is not good at all. That's really terrible.
Here's my question. The first guy goes in the house and goes missing. His friend goes looking for him, comes into the fucking kitchen, walks in, sees his outline of his head in the microwave, which, let's just talk about the fact that there was a modern looking microwave in this old ass house that has nothing else, and there's still electricity. He walks in, sees the outline of the head in the microwave, the lights come on, His friend's head explodes, blows brain parts all over him. That's when he trips over his friend's headless body sitting in a chair in the fucking kitchen that he had to have walked by to come in. But that didn't seem to alarm him. And he was like, oh, sometimes Bob leaves his head other places. But oh shit, this time he put it in the microwave? No, what the fuck? I don't know.
Okay. To be fair, I think we have to backtrack a little bit, because what I'm going to say is going to be major spoiler in case y'all read what this movie is about. It's actually about a witch that's taking revenge from, her death from like the 1600s. She's coming back for revenge, whatever.
God, these witches never let it go, do they?
No, they don't. And so, you know what? Maybe she made the body disappear where he didn't see it. He like walked right through it when he came in. She made it like invisible or whatever.
Redneckiest, disappearious.
Yes, that's exactly. How did you know the spell that she conjured up? That was pretty impressive. It's pretty impressive. No, man, this is not fucking Harry Potter. She fucking has her own spell magic words that she uses that, she does off screen. We don't see that. And that's why he didn't trip over it, Look, the continuity is not the best in the film, but it's fun terrible. It's not like, oh, this ruined the whole movie for me, unless you're that kind of a person where it will ruin the whole movie for you. Don't watch the movie then, because you're going to be mad.
But I love the part where he goes to get away, and it's like, if he's obviously never seen any horror movies, because he's like, oh, well, I'll just climb out this conveniently half-open window. I'll climb over the top. Oh, no. He just got cut in half because no one saw that coming for a mile away.
Before he touched the fucking doorknob. You're like, he's going to get cut in half. I'm like, God damn, he hasn't even opened the door yet.
Like, he's going out that window and he's going to get cut in half by the fucking window. Because every haunted house has got a window that slams on somebody's fucking fingers, their toes, their face. Some shit gets slammed in a window in a haunted house. And as soon as he started headed for that window, I was like, oh, it's going to end bad for him. And I love they had like the standard sound effects you hear in every movie where it's like the like typical body thump hitting the ground. It was like, oh, they went all out on this one.
There are some also amazing sound effects. All the jump scares are literally the same ones used in the Friday the 13th movies.
Yeah, there's a lot of little stings in there.
Yeah, they sound so similar. I was just like waiting for Jason to pop out and be like, oh, okay.
Wouldn't have surprised me. So, that's how you started off. And then your next scene is you've got the guy sitting in the church. He's like the young, hip priest. He looks a little like Benedict Cumberbatch with glasses and like 70s hair. And they come in and the older priest that he's about to take over for comes in with a couple of cops. And they're like, so, yeah, what you going to do about this house up there that's haunted and all these people die and shit? And he's like, what? You never told me about this.
And the guy's like, I'll tell you about it after you settled in. No, bitch, you're going to tell me fucking now, because I'm not going to move in if you're going to tell me there's no crazy shit going on in the house. He was so nonchalant about it. And what is up with this guy? He came in there accusing the guy because he owns the house. Like some shit's going on. Like, oh, we have to clean up this property because kids are found dead. Some other part of the fucking farm, people are fucking making out. They go there and make out and have a good time during the weekend.
And even the cop goes, after all, that's where the first time I got my, never mind, father.
Yeah, but the father's like 30 fucking one at most. And the guy telling the fucking story is like in his 60s. He's balding, he has gray hair. Is the fucking priest a vampire? Like, how is he hanging around in that property like he would know? It was just weird.
It's obvious that he had no part in any of it, so they're just yelling at him for no reason. And then, they go out there to look around, and there's the creepy caretaker woman who's supposed to be taking care of it, and she looks like...
Yaga Baba?
Yeah. She looks like one of those creepy peeper stickers that they had at Home Depot for a while, where she's just looking out the window, and you're like, holy shit, don't look at me like that. That should be a fucking crime. They look around, and they're a little creeped out by things, but, they're just like, well... We haven't actually found a guy that we suspect in the murders. The caretaker has her mentally challenged son that lives there, which, of course, the cops are always looking for that guy first. They're like, oh, he fucking did it.
That's how Bubba got in trouble.
Yeah, so they try to track him down, and the cops run off into the woods. And in my favorite part of the movie, well, one of them, there's like an obviously speeded up scene where the challenged guy runs at the cops, and you can see the frames just speed up so he can slam into him real quick. He runs off into the woods, and then you have the one cop left over that's like, oh, let me just look into the edge of the water here and see what he was looking at. And that's when you get the creepy witch hand that just reaches up out of the water, pulls him in. We never see that guy again or hear about him. That's it. He's gone.
No one cares about him. Literally no one mentions his death. The witch, I have to say, they use the she's all in black. She has long black nails. It's just like, it looks like a wet Catwoman suit. Like with the nails, like the really bad, like Halle Berry Catwoman suit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not hokey like the way it is in the Catwoman movie. It's very creepy. But it's so Italian-esque the way that they like film the movie. But it has like that. It has
dreamlike quality.
Yeah, it has a dreamlike quality, and I just love how she's just like, and you never see like her face at all. Really, like there's never specific. She's just this shroud of darkness that just comes out and just grabs bitches into the fucking night, and then they're never seen again, or they are seen again, but they're dead.
So after they finally they do mention the cop again. They do look for him for a little while.
Oh, they do that too.
And then they're kind of like, well, we're not going to find him, so we'll just go ahead and move in the new Reverend and his family. So they all move in, and of course you can tell this is definitely a movie from the 80s because the priest is standing there and he's eyeballing the two young daughters as they walk by. And the cop walks up, kind of punches the other and goes, hey, I was wondering if you were a man. Looks like you are. Cool. You can ogle teen girls. Awesome.
Yeah, I don't know what that... It's definitely a movie of its time. So you're really one of those people that are bothered by what happens back in the day when people were not, alert of things. Then this is not the movie for you.
Yeah,
there is a lot of like, whoa, okay.
Slow your roll there, Chief.
Okay, it's the 80s. It's the 80s.
Oh, but we skipped ahead just a little bit. We got to go back. After the cop disappears and they can't find him anywhere, and they're still like, well, we got to get this house ready for the Reverend and his family that are moving in. You got the guy who's using a table saw to cut some boards, and you start hearing the creepy music, and you get the little Friday the 13th sting. The blade from the table saw somehow jumps off out of the machine, hits the floor, bounces up, and into the older priest's chest, continues to move like it was being powered by the motor, saws all the way through the priest and out his back and sticks in the floor. And everybody's just like, well, fucking accidents happen. What can you do? No one is disturbed by the fact that this blade somehow mysteriously kept moving as though it was under power, even though it was disconnected from the machine.
Yeah, if I was there, I would have been like, that's some witch magic shit right there. We gotta get the fuck out.
Get the fuck out of here
right now.
Get
the fuck out. I'm sorry, Blair Witch. I'm sorry, Glenda. Like, just name any witch you've ever heard about. That you just jump out the fucking window. That's it. I'm sorry, Nancy. Say, bye. Sorry to disturb you. Maybe come back. You leave some, like, I don't know, roses and shit. Some other flowers.
Yeah, you get out. So the Reverend moves in with his wife, his two daughters, and his son. And everybody knows the family. They know how many people are there. They know how many are involved.
Some white salt. That's definitely what you need.
Put that around the house, yeah.
Yeah.
But no one seems to be disturbed when this small white girl with the, the creepy, like, super white blonde hair, and she's dressed in an old-timey dress, like, I don't know, from, say, the 1600s, just appears in the house and is like, hi, would you like to go exploring in the dark basement with me, young boy? Or, hi, priest, I'm just hanging out in here. Don't worry about me. And everybody's like, oh, yeah, that's probably normal.
Yeah, and she's, like, glowing white. I'm not saying that's how white she was. I'm just saying literally, like, they put, like, a backlight on her because she looks she just looks like she's not part of that time at all. I mean, she has like a big ass fuck bow in her hair. It is huge. And that white dress, it took me back to the Nightmare on Elm Street, which obviously came out after the fact, but it has that kind of like, I thought she was gonna, when she starts skipping, I'm like, oh, there we go, 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you moment.
Yeah, so
but obviously maybe Wes Craven saw that, he's like, yep, that shit's creepy, we're gonna get that for my movie.
We're gonna steal that.
Yep.
So immediately the son is just like, yeah, okay, sure, let's go down to the basement. Creepy girl that I've never met before. They go down there, and that is the end for the son. I'll give this movie its credit. It does not hesitate to kill off a kid and kill him off fast.
This movie does not hesitate to kill anybody. The kills are fantastic. I love the kills, and the practical effects are crazy.
Yeah, they did a really good job with the effects.
They did, and you can... I mean, obviously, it's practical effects, so you can tell, like, when it's a dummy going down or whatever. It took me out of the movie maybe, like, once or twice, but not to the point where it's just like, I can't take this movie seriously or I can't see this anymore, because it just threw me out of, like, the whole feel of it, you know, but it's fun.
There's a lot of this stuff, too, that you're like, God, I can't believe they did that shit. Like, with the saw blade, that was amazing.
Yeah, it was. It was amazing.
But then, you know, like... People are like a little alarmed that the kid's missing, but they're like, he'll show up eventually for dinner. So the mom takes the 2 daughters, like, hey, go put on your bikinis. Let's go down to our pool, a.k.a. the dirty pond that's out back of the house. I mean, this thing just had like flesh-eating bacteria written all over it. Why anybody got in that water, I don't know. This is another part I love. The one daughter is in the water. She's in maybe 4 feet of water. She's screaming, help, help, something's got my leg, something's got my leg. The young priest comes running up, dives into the water like he was diving into the fucking 15-foot deep water in the middle or something, dives in, comes back up immediately, of course, because the water's like fucking waist deep. I don't know how he didn't just hit his head on the bottom. Drags her out, and there's just a severed arm hanging onto her foot.
Yeah, that scene, and she's just screaming for bloody murder. Because when it happens, you're like, okay, I could understand why she's screaming when she's in the water. She's like, under, but she can't tell. She's still screaming. You're like, why is this bitch still screaming? Okay, yeah. I'll probably still be screaming too if it had a cold fucking hand, and it had a tight ass grip.
Yeah, they did not want to let it go. And then I like they bring an entire hearse to carry the hand away. Couldn't someone just put that in their lunchbox and taken that back?
That shit is disrespectful. They had to place that shit on the fancy ass ruffled fucking pillow and take it away and charge you $500 for limb service.
Yeah, I'm sure. But then it just kind of, this is one of those ones that really, like, the first few scenes happen, a couple of weeks apart with different things, but the rest of the movie, from the time the Reverend and his family arrived, the rest of the entire movie takes place during the same day. Like, they got there at 9 o'clock, and shit just went bad from 9 a.m. on all the way up to fucking, like, 3 in the morning when they finished this shit.
Yeah, this fucking witch is not the witch that's gonna play around with you, like, every fucking week, and, a month later, that's when you start getting the effects. The witch is like, get the fuck out my house right now. You moved in, by the time dinner comes around, you all gonna be dead.
Yeah, this really kind of reminds me of it's really a slasher movie, but with a witch as the slasher instead of, just a regular, homicidal killer.
For sure, yes.
But, yeah, they, like I said, like you said, the practical effects in this are really good, and the people are just, they do the craziest shit that you're just like, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, because none of the deaths are mystical. They're all things that can't be explained because they're either terrible fuck accidents.
It's like a Final Destination style accident.
Yeah, but no, when she picked that bitch up and throwing her around the room, how you gonna explain that?
Yeah, that one you're not gonna explain. But at first, the guy, I guess they were in hopes maybe the cops would all go home. Yeah,
she loses she's like, you know what? I'm just killing people now at this point. I don't care how they die. I'm just gonna kill them. I was thinking about the end where it's just like, oh shit. But the girl in the car.
The part I like is where they decide that, hey, maybe the mentally challenged guy is hiding in the house. Maybe he's hiding behind this secret wall that I think I've discovered in the basement. Because the cop is like, hey, this basement's smaller than it should be. 3 of the walls are stone and 1 of them is wooden. So he goes outside, finds a hidden like hatch he lifts up. There's steps that go down into a door. And he's like, I knew it. So then instead of just, I don't know, kicking in that door and going into the secret room, they go back into the house, down to the basement, and spend a couple of hours with sledgehammers breaking down that fucking wall to get into the room, only to find that the guy is hiding in the fucking doorway where they were outside and could have just kicked it in.
Yep.
I was like, wait, this seems unnecessary. You have a door you can go through. Just go through the fucking door.
They had to fucking fill time in the movie, yo.
Yes, they did.
I mean, what is a witch doing at this point? Making fucking cookies? Like...
But I love that this is one of those movies you could tell where they didn't have money for second takes of anything, because when they arrest the mentally challenged guy and they're putting him in the police car, the cop leans his shotgun up against the car. It just falls over on the ground. He just kind of stops, picks it up, leans it back up against the garret, and goes on with his business. I was like, I don't think you should just leave your gun laying around like that, but I don't think that's what you're supposed to do with it, but okay.
That's how lax they are.
They're like, it's fine. We already got him in handcuffs. There's no way he'll get rid of him and come after us and kill us. That never happens in horror movies.
Oh, this film. I have to say, my favorite kill... well, I want to talk about the last kill. But my favorite kill... I don't know. That Saw kill was pretty good. I like all of them. I think they each have their own thing. The daughter, one of the daughters, the one with the dark hair, I did not care for her. What? And you know what's crazy? You actually don't really care about the characters at all. I didn't.
Yeah, there's not much.
There's not a lot of character development. You don't really get attached. There's like some weirdness between the 2 girls who may or may not be of age. I don't remember them really mentioning how old they were per se. I assumed maybe they were like 18 or 19 years old. But it's like suggested many times in the movie by other male characters, you know, like, oh, look at those girls over there. And like trying to egg on the young priest, like, hey, you know, your job is not that bad. You have to be hanging around with those 2 kind of thing. It was creepy.
Yeah, it got a little weird. But there's, like I said, there are some really good kills in it. And this is one of those typical slasher movies from the early 80s where they were just like, oh, Friday the 13th and Halloween, all of them are popular. Just make a movie where a bunch of people get killed. That's what people want.
Yeah, they did take... It is a very interesting... like way that they did that of making it not so much of a mystical or like weird like witch deaths. It is definitely a witch meets slasher film, which makes it unique, especially for its time. How many fucking chairs were broken in the production of this film? There was just one scene where everyone's just hitting one another with a chair. Like, it is wild.
There's chairs being smashed against doors, chairs against people. Yeah, this shit gets out of control quick in this house.
Yeah, it escalates very quickly.
Yeah, I don't know what else you can say about this, because it's one of those movies that's just so damn crazy that you have to really see a lot of it to believe it. And then you pointed out the last kill of the movie. And there's something else that I thought about, too. At one point, they started to say they're going to drain the lake. Because after the cop died, they're going to drain the lake and look for his body. But they never do find the body. But they find this big cross at the bottom of the lake. And the caretaker woman says, oh, the cross being in the lake is what keeps her from moving around except at night. But the cop was killed during the day. So, obviously, that didn't work out.
Yeah, continuity, like weird fucking shit. Maybe they had some other scene that fit in there, and they had this one, and they just filled it in, because that does not make any sense. But that cross is pretty... Let me tell you, that cross can do some amazing fucking things. Well, I'm going to give them away, but some crazy stuff happens with the cross. Is it like a shotgun, maybe? I don't know. Is it a shotgun cross? Stay tuned. You know,
it's more like those things that they use to fight sharks, like where it has a shotgun shell on the stick and they hit the shark in the nose with it and it goes off. That's what it was like, because man, that cross has got some power to it.
It does. It's a boomstick. It has some amazing power. That end scene is, I feel like people watch this film and like people that later on became and did things later on in the business, because that scene, the last scene, is so reminiscent to Creepshow.
Creepshow 2.
Creepshow 2. Where that's why I'm not going to say anything, but that's if you've seen the movie, tell us yes or no. Does that scene remind you of Creepshow 2?
Yeah,
you'll know definitely which story we're talking about.
I think this was definitely an inspiration on that. Or to be fair, maybe they read the Stephen King story that came out. Didn't it come out like much earlier?
But
I don't think the story.
Think it was 81. I mean, because this.
No, because wait, I've read the story of it, and that part's not in the actual story.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, that's right. Never mind. I forgot. I read that story a long time ago, and then I was a little disappointed because the story doesn't end the same way that the movie does.
A lot of the times the Stephen King stuff, it doesn't end the way it does.
It still ended badly for everybody on that raft.
Yeah,
but
it's not a missed situation then.
Oh, it was a missed situation, but it still ended badly, just different badly.
Well, if you guys are wanting to see this movie, we actually had to rent it at Amazon Prime. It was like $2.99, and it was worth the $2.99.
It's worth that. And there's a new edition of it out from Scream Factory that got released last year. I'm sure it's packed full of everything like all of theirs are. They probably found everybody that was involved with this movie and talked to them.
Yeah, that would be cool to see.
But
thank you so much for joining us.
We were going to rate it.
Oh, the rated. That's right. I'm you already got my rating at the beginning of the thing when I said how fantastic the movie was. I give it 3 knives.
Yeah, I can go 3 too. It's an entertaining movie.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty entertaining. 3 knives for both of us. And now I say thank you so much for joining us, and stay tuned to the horror.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.